Now let's talk about Bangladesh. This is a country that was once called a basket case. Today it is one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। उम्मीद है कि आप सब लोग लक्ष्य होंगे। वेलकम टू सुपारी एक्स बांग्लादेश। आज का वीडियो का टाइटल है हमारा एशियाज नेक्स्ट बिग इकोनॉमी। जो हम 2-3 दिन से वीडियो देख रहे हैं वो एशिया के मतलब बिगेस्ट इकोनॉमी के बारे में ही देख रहे हैं, जो आने वाली बिग इकोनॉमी। अभी तो फिलहाल इंडिया, चाइना, जापान और मतलब इस तरह की कंट्रीज़ हैं। तो आने वाली की हम बात कर रहे हैं कि क्या हो सकती हैं, तो उसमें इंडिया का नाम आता है, बांग्लादेश का आता है, चाइना का आता है, फिलिपाइन का आता है और जापान का तो आता ही आता है। इसमें एक दो और कंट्रीज़ भी हैं जो बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने वाली हैं। तो असल में हम ये वीडियो इसलिए देख रहे हैं ताकि सीखने को मिले, और आप लोग रिक्वेस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा करते हैं इस तरह के वीडियोस। तो फिर देखते हैं आपके साथ मिलकर एशियाज नेक्स्ट बिग इकोनॉमीज कौन कौन सी हैं। तो ओरिजिनल वीडियो का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है। वीडियो हम करते हैं स्टार्ट।
In the last 3 decades, the Asian continent has gone through a rapid change. We have seen economies achieving unbelievable growth. There are countries which have achieved prosperity like the West. Yet there are many developing countries who are on the verge of this kind of growth. Some people even say, it is creating a multipolar world which is the beginning of a new world order. So without further ado, let's explore these nations, and see what they have so special. Let's start with Vietnam. Most people remember this country because of its horrifying history of wars and conflicts. But nowadays Vietnam is on the top of the news because of its unbelievable economic progress. There was a time in the 80s and 90s, when the country's per capita income was estimated to be between $200 to $300 per year. Cut to today, this per capita income has been around $2,800. This change started in 1986 when Vietnam launched a political and economic innovation campaign, called Doi Moi. This reform was aimed to restructure the centrally planned economy into a socialist-oriented market economy. Slowly after that, they invested in human development and infrastructure programs, and foreign investment started to come in. Soon Vietnam became a hub for foreign investment and manufacturing in Southeast Asia. Japanese, Korean, as well as American companies started to invest in the country. Today Vietnam is the largest exporter of clothing in the region and the second largest exporter of electronics. At the same time, international trade agreements also played a key role in their growth over the last 20 years. In 1995, Vietnam joined the ASEAN Free Trade Area. In 2000, they signed a FTA with the US, and in 2007 they joined the World Trade Organization. Also, trade agreements with China, India, Japan, and Korea, and just last year, the amended Trans-Pacific Partnership which went into effect, is helping the country to climb up in the value chain of the world economy. Moreover, the country's got the advantage of China plus one strategy of many multinational companies. All of this has helped Vietnam become one of the favorite destinations to do business. Now let's head to India. Like Vietnam, India also came with a lot of struggle and political turmoil in the past. Even 30-40 years after its independence, India did not grow significantly. The real changes in the Indian economy started in 1991. When the country opened up its economy and moved away from the Soviet-era plan model. India's journey has been amazing, from $288 billion in 1992 to a $3 trillion economy today. The reforms helped the country to shift from an agriculture-based economy to an industrial and service-based one. Unlike Vietnam, India's growth has mostly came with the services and IT sector in the country. Over the past 60 years, the contribution of service industry in India has increased from a fraction of the GDP to approximately 56%. This is because India has a high population of skilled, English-speaking, and educated people, and is a great place for doing business. That's why the country has built many companies in the telecommunications, IT, and software industries which have played a key role in generating better job opportunities. The business process outsourcing is a well-known industry in India. BPOs are the fastest growing segment of the ITES industry in India, thanks to economies of scale, cost advantages, and competency. This makes the service sector a backbone of the Indian economy. At present the country is looking to be a manufacturing hub in electronic and other engineering goods. New government policies are encouraging the manufacturing sector and they are attracting a lot of foreign companies to set up factories in India. Sure, we agree that India still has a lot of problems to deal with, such as high inflation, bureaucracy issues, bad labor laws, and corruption. Yet with all these problems, India has achieved remarkable growth, and we hope this trend will continue in the future. And if it does, India might be a $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years. Now let's talk about Bangladesh. This is a country that was once called a basket case. Today it is one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia. Born out of war, Bangladesh has come a long way from its early days. This country has seen unprecedented economic growth in the past couple of decades, with average economic growth of 7% in the last 11 years. Its GDP rose from $100 billion in 2009 to almost $303 billion in 2019. That's a massive 200% increase in 10 years. This has happened because the government abandoned the nationalization policy and gave opportunity to private sector participation in the economy. Many state-owned enterprises have been privatized, like banking, telecommunication, media, aviation and some other industries. But there is another reason for Bangladesh's economic growth. And that is the garment industry. Their garment industry has grown massively in recent times. Bangladesh has become the second largest manufacturer of the ready-made garments. Garment exports account for 84% of their total exports. One of the reasons Bangladesh has been successful in capitalizing on the garment industry is the huge labor force of the country. Also, the industries here are benefited from custom-free access to many Western countries. This happened because many nations removed the export duties for least developed countries, and Bangladesh being one of them benefited from it. This makes their products more competitive. Beside the garment industry, the country is betting on pharmaceutical and IT industries in the future. Today Bangladesh is nearly a $400 billion economy, but if they play their cards right, by 2030 it could grow to $800 billion. Next, we are going to talk about Indonesia. Indonesia is a very special country. You see, there is a trend in many developing nations. Most of them follow a typical path for their economic development. They transform from an agriculture-based economy to an industrial and service-based economy. But this was not the case with Indonesia. The country is quite rich in natural resources. Hence they had a huge reliance on commodities. The country holds large reserves of crude palm oil, coal, gas, and copper. In the 2000s, they made a lot of money due to the commodity boom in the international market, which helped them recover from the Asian financial crisis. But having a lot of commodities isn't the only great thing about the country. Indonesia also has a large young population. This massive population creates a huge demand for consumer goods, making it a key driver of the country's economic growth. It is estimated that by 2030, Indonesia will have 135 million consumers. Moreover, the growing middle class is contributing to the rapid urbanization of the country. This also helped Indonesia's large industrial and service sector growth. This growth in other sectors is helping them to reduce their dependence on commodity exports, which is essential for a growing nation. It is estimated that by 2030 Indonesia could be the largest economy in Asia after China and India. Due to its large population, Indonesia is set to become one of the biggest consumer markets. Indonesia's working class population is becoming the backbone of the country's economy. Now we know, you might be thinking there are many other significant economies in the Asian region, then why we choose these four? Well, here you have to understand all these countries are in their developing stage, and as we have seen in the video, they really show the potential. In the coming time, these could also be the next countries to show a significant influence on the world economy. And they really are the ones to keep an eye on. So, what do you think about this video? Tell us in the comments below. And if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you.
थैंक यू। बिल्कुल यार, वीडियो ख़त्म हो गया है। इसमें पाकिस्तान का नाम नहीं था, बड़ा अफसोस हुआ। वैसे एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं कर रहे थे, लेकिन वैसे मैं बात कर लेकिन अगर देखा जाए तो बड़े बड़े कंट्रीज़ जो आने वाले दिक्कत बनने वाले हैं इकोनॉमी के हिसाब से, जिसमें कि बांग्लादेश है, इंडिया है, वियतनाम है, इंडोनेशिया है और इस तरह के बाकी कंट्रीज़। पहले नंबर पे पता नहीं बांग्लादेश बताया था, कौन सा बताया था, मैंने कहा ये बांग्लादेश है, तो मुझे लगता है शायद कोई और कंट्री बता रहे थे, क्योंकि बांग्लादेश तो इंडिया के बाद बताया जी, है ना। तो अगर वैसे ये सारी वो कंट्रीज़ हैं जो कि अगर देखा जाए सबसे ऊपर जो अभी मेरे ख्याल में भी इंडिया ही है इन सब में जो ग्रो कर रहे हैं, जिनकी इकोनॉमी अभी तकरीबन 3 ट्रिलियन से ऊपर हो चुकी है और आने वाले 5-6 सालों में ये तकरीबन 5 ट्रिलियन तक पहुंच जाएगी, जितनी स्पीड से ये भी ग्रो कर रहे हैं। बिल्कुल, बांग्लादेश के अभी 400 बिलियन है, ये भी इसको टाइम नहीं लगेगा, 2030, 2032, 35 तक जो है ये 1 ट्रिलियन तक बड़े आराम से जा सकती है। और इंडोनेशिया भी बहुत बड़ी मार्केट है, जैसे बांग्लादेश है, इंडिया है और बाकी कंट्रीज़ हैं, जैसे पाकिस्तान भी एक बड़ी मार्केट है कंज्यूमर मार्केट के लिहाज से, जो चीज़ें कंज्यूम करती हैं। पॉपुलेशन ज़्यादा है, ज़ाहिर है जब आबादी ज़्यादा होगी तो लोगों ने
चीज़ें भी चाहिए।
हाँ, चीज़ें भी चाहिए, फूड भी चाहिए, मतलब टेक्नोलॉजी भी चाहिए, उस तरह की चीज़ें सारी। तो इंडोनेशिया भी बहुत बड़ी और बहुत स्पीड से आगे ग्रो कर रही है। तो अब देखना ये बाकी है कि क्या बांग्लादेश इंडिया चाइना के बाद आता है या फिर इंडोनेशिया आता है। ये तो वक्त ही बताएगा, क्योंकि इंडोनेशिया भी एक टफ टक्कर देने वाला है आगे बांग्लादेश को।
आपको क्या लगता है कि कौन आगे आएगा वैसे, मतलब एक
मुझे ऐसा
as a
लगता
guess?
है कि कोई भी आ सकता है इन दोनों में से। मैं उससे कह नहीं सकता, अगर ईमानदारी से पूछता हूँ।
अगर ईमानदारी से मतलब मुझे ये लगता है कि यार बांग्लादेश जिस तरह तरक्की कर रहा है ना,
हाँ,
या जो उन्होंने पीछे किया है, किसी भी इंसान की शख्सियत का अंदाजा उसके बैकग्राउंड से लगाया जाता है कि उसने पीछे क्या किया है।
हाँ,
तो उस तरह अगर देख रहे हैं तो बांग्लादेश जिस तरह तरक्की कर रहा है,
हाँ।
तो इंशाल्लाह मुझे लगता है कि ये आगे आएगा।
हाँ, अगर ये ग्रोथ रेट रहता है ना बांग्लादेश का, तो नो डाउट फिर तीसरे नंबर पे बांग्लादेश आ जाएगा। इंडोनेशिया का ग्रोथ रेट वो नहीं है जो बांग्लादेश का है, लेकिन उनका भी बहुत अच्छा है। और कमेंट सेक्शन में आप हमें ये बताइएगा कि इंडोनेशिया का असल में जीडीपी क्या है आज के टाइम में। अब मई 2022 में जो है क्या जीडीपी है। बांग्लादेश का तो पता है $400 बिलियन है, लेकिन आपने अपनी राय लास्ट में बतानी, क्या सोचते हैं आप कि क्या लगता है, क्या इंडोनेशिया तीसरे नंबर पे होगा या फिर बांग्लादेश आने वाले टाइम में? वैसे तो बांग्लादेश ऊपर भी आ सकता है,
बिल्कुल।
क्योंकि लेबर फोर्स है, ताकत भी है और विजन भी है, लीडर्स भी हैं, हर चीज़ है, लेकिन उसको थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा। तो वैसे ये तीसरे नंबर पे आने में बनस्बत उसके पहले नंबर पे आने के थोड़ा कम वक्त लगेगा। तो लास्ट में आपने बताना इंडोनेशिया की इकोनॉमी क्या है और आप क्या सोचते हैं कि क्या इंडोनेशिया तीसरे पे आएगा या बांग्लादेश। तो इंशाल्लाह फिर हम आपको मिलेंगे अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।